Okay, today is December 16th. It's about 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. my time. Let's do another video update on some potential levels, some potential trade opportunities for both BTC and BSV. The last video that I uploaded to YouTube, December 8th, I talked about BSV coming down to the low 130s to the 120s. I think, let's see, December 8th was right here. And it took several days, but we did end up eventually coming down to the low 130s and into the low 20s. And since then been going sideways. So it's been pretty uneventful, taken a long time to get down there, and we have been yet to see any type of bounce at all. But as far as today's price action goes, or opportunities for today with BSV, I'm really only looking at, I mean, all this has to be taken into consideration with BTC and the S&P 500, because, for example, if, you know, we could have a potential buy spot here at 117, for example, but if BTC hasn't also come down into some type of support spot, then you might want to be cautious, right? But as far as tradable location, obviously we want to buy the low end of the range. You know, so far we got 1, 2, 3, 4 days of almost complete sideways. The low range is, you know, the low 120s, 122 or below. I would say if volatility is going to stay fairly low, and we're going to continue to range between 130 and 120, let's try and get maybe a poke below 120, or maybe just a 121 or below. So we'll say 121 or below, and just for a continuing of this sideways action. Of course, you know, we want to make sure some BTC support levels line up there, but that's an option. Below that, I do see a potential where we can finally come down and hit this this VPOC from December 6th. We've come close several times. We've never actually tagged it, so that would be another potential spot there. If you're trying to go long BSV. If we do finally find a bottom here on BSV, I think you're going to find a couple spots. We got a double VPOC right here, around 155, but more than likely we may let me get my trolley back here. We can kind of do something like this and then bounce up into this upper range, this section right here, right? The upper range up in here. So in the 160s is where you'd probably look to take some off. You know, if let's say we buy the dip down here at 117, 118, over the next 3 or 4 days we find ourselves back up. You may want to take a little bit off because we may continue to go sideways. So, but as far as going long today, I think we're either looking at the low 120s, or I'll just combine these two. We'll say 117 to 121. 117 to 121 on BSV. Now the S&P 500, I'm going to bring that over. Let's look at that. I think that would line up well. You know, ideally things are lining up. We want the S&P 500, BSV, and BTC all kind of lining up at spots where they might bounce. So I think the S&P 500 may find support around this 46.28. which I think will line up roughly with that BSV 117 probably. Okay, it's the S&P 500. Now let's bring over BTC. We'll look at Hawaii here. Yep, and I am looking at basically 47,400. One more low. For this to kind of come do one more low before finding a tradable opportunity there. So I think we could see pretty much all that happened at the same time. BSV, BTC, and the S&P 500 making one more low before finding its way back up, giving us an opportunity for a decent trade. Maybe something we can add to and play for bigger numbers. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for today. We'll see how this plays out, and we'll go from there.